Today on People Now, memorials across the country honor the victims of last weekend's deadly shootings as we learn more from people who knew the shooters.
Olivia Newton-John opens up about her third cancer diagnosis in a new interview.
Also today, fans are going wild about Kylie Jenner's rose-filled mansion.
Plus,
you're so pro.
You're so
professional.
The only thing more swoon-worthy than Milo Ventimiglia and Amanda Seyfried is the adorable pooch in the art of racing in the rain.
Plus, Stone Cold Steve Austin is in the house with all we need to know about the wild stunts in his new show, and we might even throw down a little arm wrestling challenge. Who knows?
It's all live today on People Now.
He's in the green room watching, and I wonder how intimidated he is right now after seeing
Oh,
us flex
he's definitely shaking in his
Is he
boots.
still in there or has he left? Oh, he's still there.
There's a lot of muscle here between the two of us.
Welcome to People Now. Happy Tuesday, everyone. A lot to unpack this show. Guys, we're starting off on a somber note today as the country is still mourning the victims of the two mass shootings over the past weekend that killed at least 31 people, with memorials and protests being held across the country. The latest shootings have again resulted in debates about gun control and mental health, with the ex-girlfriend of Dayton, Ohio shooter Connor Betts now speaking out. In an interview with the Today Show, she revealed they dated for a few months before breaking up in May and got close over their shared battle with mental illness. Adelia Johnson tells Today she now believes there were some red flags in her opinion as she looks back, like him showing her a video of a mass shooting on a first date and taking her to a gun range. She also explains in the interview that she believes that the shooting had no racial motivations. Watch this.
This isn't about race. This isn't about religion. It's none of those things. This is a man who is in pain and didn't get the help that he needed.
While she admits that people with mental health can go on with their life, in the interview, she gets emotional, saying she believes Betts got the short end of the stick because she believes he did not have a solid support system around him. Meanwhile, President Trump condemned white supremacy in the aftermath of the shootings, but stopped short of any major gun control measures. Instead, he focused on mental health issues. President Obama released a statement condemning, quote, language coming out of the mouths of any of our leaders that, quote, normalizes racist sentiments. Meanwhile, Senator and presidential hopeful Julian Castro had some harsh words for President Trump, saying he didn't believe that Trump meant what he said when Julian was in an interview with CNN. Watch this.
This president wants to talk about mental health. He wants to talk about video games, other things. Doesn't want to talk about the fact that we need common sense gun safety legislation. And he never talks in genuine terms about the scourge of white supremacist ideology. He mouths the words, he did that today, but you could tell just watching him that he didn't mean it.
Two survivors of the mass shooting in Dayton, Ohio also spoke out about how they managed to escape the shooting. Take a look.
I was standing in line and I had just handed the security guard my ID. He checked my age and he went to hand it back. And when he handed it back, I immediately heard gunshots behind us. And like now, typically when we're down here together, we're always holding hands. And I just happened to have her hand at that moment. And when he gave my ID back, we heard the gunshots. He literally grabbed me by the back of my neck and he said, run. And so we just ran inside because there wasn't anywhere else to go.
I'm so lucky that I've been through this 3 times and I'm still here. I'm living with it. So it just reinforced my gratitude.
Living with stage 4 cancer hasn't broken Olivia Newton-John's spirit. On Sunday's episode of 60 Minutes Australia, the 70-year-old Grease star opened up about her illness and how cancer has taught her to live every moment to the fullest. In the interview, she says, quote, "We know we're going to die at some point and we don't know when it is. When you're given a cancer diagnosis or a scary, honest diagnosis, you're suddenly given a possibility of a time limit. The truth is, you could get hit by a truck tomorrow, so every day is a gift, particularly now." Newton-John was first diagnosed in 1992 and secretly overcame it again in 2013. But in May of 2017, she was told the cancer had metastasized and spread to her bones. Though the cancer is now more aggressive than ever, she says she still believes she can win. She explains, quote, "I'm getting strong again, so I'm good." Another way she stays positive is by ignoring doctors' estimates about her life expectancy and ignoring the statistics. She says, in part, if you believe the statistics, you're going to make it happen. If somebody tells you you have 6 months to live, very possibly you will because you believe that. not thinking of cancer as a fight has also kept her in good spirits. She explains by saying this: "I don't talk about a battle or a war because I think that sets up the kind of feeling in your body like you're battling something strange inside you. Instead, she chooses to think of it as something that she's living with and something in her body that she's just getting rid of." Another way that she fights the cancer is by talking to her body and telling the cancer to leave. She says not dwelling on it is important for her. Here's her quote on that. She says, "I kind of have a way of dissociating and compartmentalizing it. Otherwise, you become a victim, which I don't want to be and am not. Or you become a slave to it and talk about it all the time, which I try not to do either." Newton-John's treatment consists of a combination of holistic strategies that include herbs and medical cannabis to help with the pain. Her oncologist also prescribed her oral cancer medication, and Newton-John finds solace in meditation, where she visualizes the cancer leaving her body. Now, on top of all of that, her husband of 10 years, John Easterling, is there to support her every step of the way. Now, obviously, we always recommend consulting your doctor with stories like this to find out what works for you, but we're happy to hear that she is in good spirits. All right, now watch this.
Happy 25th anniversary, InStyle.
Happy 25th anniversary InStyle magazine. This is a huge moment.
Congratulations, you made it.
This means that InStyle is a millennial.
Quiero felicitar a InStyle por sus 25 años.
I mean, can you believe it's been 25 years?
I can't believe it! InStyle celebrating 25 years by featuring the stars we love and the fashion they love to wear. Julianne Moore graces the cover of the magazine's September issue as it takes a look back at the celebs who've graced the cover over the decades, as well as the most memorable, I'm blown away by this, and fashionable looks. Stars like Jennifer Garner, Halle Berry, Salma Hayek, and more. For the issue, the magazine photographed them all again, and they got to choose what they wanted to wear. Cameron Diaz loves a good tank top, as we know. She rocked one as she reminisced about her May 2012 cover hairdo. Watch this.
I was probably a little crazy at the time too, which was why I wanted to cut all my hair off, you know, when you're going through those periods of time where you're like, I'm gonna get bangs. You know what bangs mean, right? You've just like a lot of emotions. Or where you have to cut off all of your hair just because you're just like, I'm just starting over.
I go through that dilemma every time I sit down in the barber chair. Cameron also tells InStyle that now her time is all hers, saying, quote, "It's fun to just not have anybody know what I'm up to. I'm not selling any films because I'm not selling anything. I don't have to give anybody anything. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm living my life." That is the most refreshing quote I've heard. How great for her. Actress Kate Hudson has also graced InStyle's cover a few times. She takes a look back at her 2001 spread where she really bared it all. Take a look.
So, this got banned from certain shops or establishments because it was not appropriate. It was deemed inappropriate. Whatever, we sold a whole bunch of them. You know, that's when you're sort of like, come on, I'm not showing anything.
When it comes to posing nude, the actress tells InStyle, quote, "You don't join the circus to live a really straight and narrow life."
It's true.
Looking pretty in pink because she loves pink, actress Kerry Washington takes a look back at her second InStyle cover, which was a little over a year after her first one. Watch this.
It's so funny. Now that I'm a mom, my life is really marked by the events of motherhood. So I had agreed to do this cover, and then I had to call, and I said, well, I'm preggo. I was super preggers. Well, not super preggers, I was early preggers. But I said, I'm going to be pregnant at the shoot. Do you want to fire me from the shoot? And he said, no, I still want you on our September cover. We'll shoot around it or with it, or we'll figure it out. And we did.
And it worked. Kerry shares that if she could give herself one piece of advice, it would be, quote, "Enjoy this ride you're on and hold on tight. The waters are not going to be this rough for much longer." Really fun seeing these women look back on their looks, fashion, and their InStyle covers. Great to get their perspective on that. Let's move on to this. Watch.
I wanted as many people who could hear my voice to understand the importance of her work. Get people to trust that, oh, this is something safe, and then, bam, hit them with Toni Morrison.
Oprah Winfrey was one of many who paid tribute to author Toni Morrison in the June documentary Toni Morrison, The Pieces I Am. Today, we pay tribute to the Nobel Laureate who passed away peacefully Monday night. Morrison was best known for her novel Beloved, which won the 1988 Pulitzer Prize for fiction. The book was also adapted into a film of the same name in 1998, which starred Winfrey. Morrison also wrote the critically acclaimed novels The Bluest Eye and Song of Solomon.
And she was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1993, becoming the first Black woman to earn the the award. And in 2012, President Barack Obama presented Morrison with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Her latest novel, God Help the Child, was published in 2015.
Throughout her career, Morrison was celebrated for her books, which brought the African-American experience to the forefront of literature. In the documentary, Oprah explains Morrison's gift perfectly, saying, quote, "Toni Morrison's work shows us through pain all the myriad ways we can come to love. That is what she does with some words on a page."
And Morrison also worked as an editor at Random House for 19 years, where she became the first female African-American editor in company history. Now, according to a statement issued by the Morrison family, the author died following a short illness. The statement adds, "She was an extremely devoted mother, grandmother, and aunt who reveled in being with her family and friends." It went on saying, "Although her passing represents a tremendous loss, we are grateful she had a long, well-lived life."
We end on something that Morrison told People back in 1977. Here's her quote: "We are born already and we are going to die. You really have to do something you respect in between." Toni Morrison was 88 years old, leaves such an incredible legacy. Andrea, you have more for us in Star Treks.
I do. We are kicking off Star Trek today with some hot athletes. Watch this.
I won't do it.
Come on, JJ. Your Gatorades beat the heat, man.
No, I'm not going to be the pee guy again. I did that last year. I'm done.
Urine color is a great indicator for hydration, and you're the best at telling people that.
All right, fine.
Yes! That's what I'm talking about. Get it? What?
I'm hanging up now.
Good talk.
What a hilarious guy. We love puns. Gatorade is teaming up with Peyton Manning, JJ Watt, and more hot and sweaty athletes to create a calendar for its Beat the Heat program. I love this. I'm not complaining. The goal is to educate young athletes about how to stay safe and hydrated while working out in the hot summer temperatures. It's very important. The star-studded ad features Manning as the creative director, calling up athletes to participate in the calendar photo shoot. So in addition to Watt, there's Boston Celtics player Jason Tatum, soccer stars like Mallory Pugh, and gymnast Caitlin Ohashi, who went viral earlier this year for her perfect 10 floor routine. It's very stacked. Now, Manning also video chats with Serena Williams and doles out some of his own heat safety fashion tips, saying light-colored, sweat-wicking clothes are great to help avoid heat exhaustion. Plus, pastels look great year-round. Now, the fashion-forward tennis star hilariously responds, "Are you seriously giving me fashion tips?" And with all these hotties signed on for this 2020 calendar, you know it's going to be epic. It'll be available soon, so get it while you can. I know you're going to be picking it up, Jeremy. All right, now watch this.
There they are. Come on, Butch. Let's take this baby bird home to her mommy.
This is so cute. On Sunday, Cardi B shared a clip on her Instagram of Offset gently brushing their 1-year-old daughter, Kulture's hair. Now, Kulture can be seen squirming, eating some snacks. You can hear Dora the Explorer playing in the background, mom and dad life. Meanwhile, Dad Offset is patiently brushing his daughter's bangs out. Kulture, clearly a daddy's girl, cheekily tries to grab the comb from her dad, and Cardi can be heard in the background confirming Kulture's cute look. This is really sweet. Now, this video comes a week after Cardi B had to postpone a concert in Indiana due to a security threat. She tweeted out an apology to her fans explaining the situation, adding that hers and her fans' safety comes first. The show has been rescheduled for a later date. Now, although Cardi has never dealt with a security threat at her concerts before, this wasn't the first time she had to cancel a show this year. In May of 2019, Cardi B was forced to take some time off from performing in order to heal from liposuction surgery. The rapper apologized to her very disappointed fans and expressed her frustrations as well. She addressed her fans, saying that she hates canceling shows because she loves money, calling herself a money addict. She adds that health is wealth, so she has to take some time to heal after her breast augmentation and liposuction. She addressed her critics who argued she should exercise instead of getting surgery. Cardi saying that her job as an entertainer is a 24-hour job. She doesn't have time to work out. Cardi B's rep confirmed to People in May that the rapper was taking time off, but that she is overzealous in getting back to work. All right, on to this. Victoria's Secret is breaking boundaries by hiring its first openly transgender model, Brazilian Valentina Sampaio. The 22-year-old model has been teasing the announcement by posting some behind-the-scenes content on Instagram from a Victoria's Secret pink campaign, captioning one post in part, "Never stop dreaming," and tagging Victoria's Secret Pink's Twitter handle in another. Now, she's gotten a ton of support in the comments, with fellow VS model Lily Aldridge writing "stunning" with lots of hearts, while transgender actress Laverne Cox cheered her on by writing "wow, finally." Now, according to CNN, her agent has confirmed the news, saying she will be part of a pink campaign to be released in mid-August. Sampaio has continuously broken boundaries in the fashion world since getting her start in the industry as a teen. 2 years ago, she became the first openly transgender model to cover any edition of Vogue when she appeared on Vogue Paris in March of 2017. Now, this news comes a year after Victoria's Secret issued an apology on behalf of their chief marketing officer, Ed Razek, who told Vogue in an interview that he could never imagine welcoming a trans model on the VS runway. Why not? In his words, because the show is a fantasy. This got a ton of backlash. Now, in the apology, he wrote in part, "To be clear, we absolutely would cast a transgender model for the show. We've had transgender models come to castings, and like many others, they didn't make it. But it was never about gender. I admire and respect their journey to embrace who they really are." Now, moving on to a live-action movie so nice, they're doing it twice. Watch.
Darling, it's better down where it's wetter. Take it from me.
Love it. ABC must have thought Sebastian was onto something. They just announced the casting for another Little Mermaid live event. Ali'i Carvalho, who previously played Disney's Moana, has been cast as Ariel. Queen Latifah will slide into the role of Ursula, while reggae musician Shaggy will play Ariel's crabby sidekick, Sebastian. Now, according to ABC, the live musical event will air on November 5th to honor the 30th anniversary of the Disney classic. And only poor unfortunate souls
yeah.
miss this. This live event will, quote, take viewers on a magical adventure under the sea as live musical performances by a star-studded cast will be interwoven into the broadcast of the original feature film. It will even feature beautifully intricate sets and costumes with music from both the original animated film and the Tony Award-winning Broadway version. But do not worry, Disney execs say they aren't worried about this overshadowing the live-action feature film starring Halle Bailey due to timing and distinctive differences. Filming for that project is anticipated to begin in 2020. And we're going to be loving all those Little Mermaid songs. And those are your Star Trek Sports today.
All right, guys, stay with us. Superstar WWE wrestler Steve Austin will be here live. He's telling us all about his new interview show. He's got celebrities. He's got some wild stunts. We can't wait to break that down. Plus, we're sitting down with the Art of Racing in the Rain stars Milo Ventimiglia and Amanda Seyfried. That's also coming up in just a bit.
I see dead people walking around like regular people.
Oh my
Jeremy
goodness.
is
That
gonna lose his
iconic,
mind.
yeah, that iconic line still chilling to this day. The Sixth Sense celebrating its 20th anniversary today, and it still holds up as one of the scariest films to come out of the 90s. At least, like, you know, young little boy Jeremy thought that was the scariest movie ever.
You still don't like scary movies.
No, I don't. That was one of the reasons I can't watch scary movies anymore.
I love scary movies. So in honor of the milestone, we want to know which 90s horror movie is your pick for the scariest. Is it The Sixth Sense? Is it the original Scream? Maybe you were most terrified by Silence of the Lambs? Or the Blair Witch Project? Maybe there's a scarier 90s horror film that did not make our list. Vote in our People poll or tweet us your answer with the hashtag #PeopleNow.
The Ring did it for me. It was a little later.
Yeah.
We're going to check in on the results and what you are scared of a little later, but for now, we move on to this.
From scary things to donuts. Everyone is talking about these new donuts. We saw it trending. Krispy Kreme and Reese's have joined forces to create the ultimate dessert mashup, Reese's Lovers Original Filled Donuts.
Reese's.
I know, this is the debate.
It's
Is it
always the debate.
Reese's or Reese's?
Growing up as a kid, you just say Reese's. Reese's Pieces.
I think it might be Reese's.
It's Reese's.
It's Reese's.
It's Reese's.
Okay.
But
anyway.
Reese's. The new collaboration includes 2 different versions of the original glazed Krispy Kreme donut. The Peanut Butter Lovers donut obviously has more peanut butter than chocolate. We're wondering if they'll do like a crunchy peanut butter.
They better. The Chocolate Lovers donut has more chocolate than peanut butter. Shocking. You can get one of each or just stick to your favorite. Which one do you do, Jeremy?
Do both, but peanut butter.
Yeah.
Starting Monday, both donuts will be offered by the dozen individually or in a custom 2-pack. So you can get one of each. It's inspired by the iconic Reese's 2-cup pack. That's amazing. Where did they come up with this? Okay, watch this.
I was born to be a race car driver, but there's only one problem. That's not me. That's me.
Enzo is your new favorite pup, and who doesn't like talking dogs, right? The Art of Racing in the Rain is the new heartfelt movie that is narrated by the canine himself, voiced by Kevin Costner. In the movie, Enzo uses his insight about racing on the racetrack to understand the journey of life.
Wrapping his mind around what's going on. The film follows Enzo's faithful owner, Denny, played by Milo Ventimiglia, who's an aspiring race car driver. Amanda Seyfried also stars in the film as Denny's wife. We sat down with Ventimiglia and Seyfried, and they shared that it was all about the dog for them. Watch this.
I mean, the story told through the eyes of a dog is a pretty good get.
And also through the eyes of a dog that wants so desperately to be
a good boy,
like just a good
dude.
person,
Yeah.
a good human in his next life.
Like if we could all try to be a good dude.
If we could all try and be a good dude,
Yeah.
I think it's a really nice message. But I think it's a family movie, you know, a story about wives and husbands and daughters and parents and just kind of everything that you experience in life and the trying times that are going to get in your way and then how you overcome them, how you find the art in racing in the ring.
Yeah, it's getting to the other side and realizing that I guess you needed something from that.
So Parker and Butler play the young and older versions of Enzo in the movie. Working with dogs, it can be difficult, but the dogs were a perfect fit. Watch.
You're so pro.
They're so trained.
Professional. Like there's no like slipped past gas. There was like
I don't think
no
I
knocking
smelled
things
one
over. No.
odor.
No, not one. Not one of them. Although Butler sheds more than Parker. Yeah, like there was a lot of like, lint rolling after Butler, scenes of he and I on the couch. Parker, not really. He hangs on to his fur.
Gosh, I thought it was going to be a lot harder with just,
Dogs in general, yeah.
Dogs and unpredictable animals, they're unpredictable. And so I was just very, very surprised at how easy it was.
Yeah, it really was. It really, really was. I mean, and we all fell into this rhythm too with our team of trainers and us and our crew and everybody. It was one of those magical experiences that
communication is key.
Communication is key, but you just want it to last a long time. I know I was definitely sad when the movie ended.
I was devastated.
That was a really great experience, and this team, this group, everything about it, just you want to hang on to it. But then I just reflect. I'm like, every time I would see the posters driving around, or I'd think about Amanda or Simon or anybody, I just smile from so deep down in my soul.
Because we were present, and that's also the big part of the message is that like, this is it. This is the one chance, You want to be the best version of yourself and reflect and give the people you love the best version of yourself, and you stay in the moment. Because if you don't stay in the moment, then what's the point?
Then you're gonna dog about to be a human.
Yeah.
Now, we are big fans of Milo for his outstanding performance in the NBC series This Is Us, and Seyfried for her iconic role in Mean Girls. But the question is, were these two big fans of each other before working together?
I was so excited. I was like Art of Racing Wing with Milo Ventimiglia. I was like, me? Me too? Please?
Yeah, no, and she was the first name that was mentioned once I was on board. I was like, oh yeah. No, that's a yes. It's a very, very, very passionate yes.
Thank you for that.
Totally. No, we'd met once 15 years earlier, but then I'd seen the work that she had done and everything. There was always a truth in her eyes when you'd watch her on screen, and then being in front of her, sharing the sets with. Yeah, I know. I got a lot of those looks. You are remarkable.
Yeah, thanks. So are you. I think we created something really amazing. Like just who we are.
Yeah.
We connect really well. I mean, we're teammates now.
Yep.
Now and forever.
No, forever.
Teammates, Dream Team. I really can't wait to see this movie.
I know, it looks good.
The Art of Racing in the Rain hits theaters August 9th.
All right, get ready for this. Everything is coming up roses for Kylie Jenner. The makeup mogul walked into her house Monday night and found it was covered in rose petals, an early birthday surprise courtesy of her boyfriend, Travis Scott. She showed her fans a card from her beau, which read, "Happy birthday, we're just getting started, love you."
Super subtle. While Kylie may have swooned over the romantic gesture, some fans had a very different reaction. Many were stressed and anxious over who would clean up the mess. Check out some of the tweets.
So one Twitter user says, Kylie's maids preparing themselves for another night shift of cleaning up roses.
Here's another one. This person seemed to be more jealous than anxious, saying Travis Scott really covered Kylie's house in roses, and I'm struggling to get even one.
Oh, wah, wah. This person tweeted a GIF with the caption, "Me coming into work and seeing all those flowers on Kylie's floor."
Here's one more. I didn't play. That's okay. This person is also wondering who's going to clean up Kylie's house, saying, if that was my house, I know my sister and mom would make me do it by myself.
That's the thing. Kylie's obviously not going to be cleaning this up, and neither is Travis.
Here's my question. Forget who's cleaning it up. How long do you let it be there just for to enjoy it? Like, oh, this is so great.
They're only going to last a couple days.
Right.
And don't rose petals, isn't there stuff that comes off of it?
Like
and their house is all white. So it makes me, I'm a little nervous.
I think the floor is probably like a stone.
Probably.
They can just clean up.
But it was, I like the video, you can hear the crunching. It does sound kind of
we'll come
relaxing.
up with a list of cleaning products to forward to them. We're going to take this on as an investigative task.
Well, Kylie recently faced backlash for her, quote, tone-deaf billionaire-themed makeup birthday collection. So people love to give the Kardashians flack on social media. Seems like everything they do is a little excessive. So.
Well, where do you even start? Like, their whole lives they have so much money and everything on, their lifestyle is in its own little bubble,
I'm
for
curious
sure.
how much that even costs to get that many rose petals there.
Yeah, no idea.
Thousands?
For sure, right?
Yeah.
A dozen rows could be $100-some or more, depending on where you get them.
We'll break down the numbers.
Doing the math, we'll have the numbers for you tomorrow, right here on People Now. It was a sweet birthday gesture, though. Obviously, the Kar Jenners, a little extra Are people overthinking it when it comes to like, wait a second, this is excessive? I don't know. I'm just used to it.
It's the Kardashians. They're extra. Who cares? But you guys, let us know what you think with the hashtag #PeopleNow. Country star Justin Moore is fresh off the release of his latest album, Late Nights and Long Necks. Now, he went back to his roots for this one, calling it his most country album yet. He even co-wrote all 10 songs.
But what does writing 10 extremely country songs look like? Justin gave us all the details.
If you go back to when I first moved to Nashville in 2002, my producer and I didn't have kids yet and not as many responsibilities.
A different version of life, right?
A different version of life is a really good way to put it. And we would just pop down to the panhandle of Florida, Destin, Panama City area, and lock ourselves in a house and that we rented, drink beer, and write songs. And probably half of each of my first 2 records that came out came from those sessions. And fast forward now, my wife and I have owned the house down there for 7 or 8 years, and I said, man, since we're gonna go do this kind of album and kind of go back in time, if you will, why don't we just take 5 or 6 of our buddies and stay at my house and lock ourselves in and drink beer, write songs like we used to, and
it worked.
I tell you what, it was fun.
All right, so he may be a big country star, but he's really just a small town boy at heart. In fact, Justin still lives in the same little town that he grew up in.
From my personal standpoint, what I do, people are always kind of enamored with, and you guys probably have the same kind of deal where you're from. They're going, oh, I can't believe you get to do this or that or whatever. The people back home are proud of my wife and I, and proud for us and our kids and our family. And they're really happy for us, but they really don't give a crap. Either, you know, which
kind
is
of a level of bringing it back down to earth,
for
right?
selfies or anything?
Which is awesome, yeah. And you know, I kind of touched on the fact that people have our children's best interests at heart, my best interests at heart. Will tell me, hey, man, what are you doing? And that's good to be surrounded by people who are real and authentic. And not to mention, which this sounds like a country song, but we literally go to church where I was baptized and I grew up, and my kids go to school where I went to school. An example would be my oldest daughter, when she was in 1st grade, had my 1st grade teacher.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And so there's just some really cool aspects of it for us, and it works well for our family, which is, you know, I think the happier that you are personally, I think that helps your art as well.
Now, one of the songs off Justin's new album is called The Ones That Didn't Make It Back Home. It's climbing the charts and really hits home for a lot of first responders.
Yeah, Justin opened up about what it feels like to have a song resonate with so many people around the country.
It's fun to have hit records, and we've been blessed to have a lot of them. But it's more special when you have a song that people tell you, you know, face to face, this helped, you know, dig me out of a rut. And so I always kind of had it on the back of my mind that I wanted to do another one of those. And fortunately, I had the idea to write this song, and I feel so blessed to not only have one now, but 2 records that have been able to impact people's lives in a positive way.
He's so great, but before we let Justin go, we had to bring out his wife, Kate, and their 2 oldest daughters, Ella and Kennedy, to join him.
Now, between being on tour and raising 4 kids, we had to know how these 2 lovebirds keep the romance alive.
Because he's gone, you know, he has his time away, so when he's gone, I have time for myself, and so I think that helps us.
Yeah, you kind of have your own time independently.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, when he's home for weeks at a time, like when they're off, I'm like,
time for you to
go
back.
Oh, get back out there. What does a date night look like for you 2, though?
It looks like us sleeping on the couch.
Yeah, right. Everybody's asleep.
You know,
well,
we have
if like his
4 little
parents
ones.
keep all the kids, are like, you want to go out to dinner, and we're like, actually, you want to just like sit on the couch, watch Netflix,
and chill.
Yeah.
So this is an exciting time for the Moore family. On top of Justin's new album, the family has welcomed their kittens to the ranks. 2 new kittens. It's a full house for sure. Watch this.
See, we live way out in the country.
Right.
So So we got kittens, and they're in our garage right now, but they're going to be outside cats. But we're afraid of a coyote or hawk carrying them off right now. So we're trying to protect them.
You're not
until
afraid. We are.
Yeah.
Because you hate cats.
Oh, is that true?
He said he's allergic
I'm
to
just a dog person.
Wait, hold on a second. Kennedy, one more time.
He says he's allergic to cats, but he's just lying to us.
Was that the excuse for a long time, and then it turns out
it worked for years. And,
But not allergic to cats.
Until they
It didn't work.
Until they debunked that theory.
Holy what are we doing? Holy
Holy what happened?
No, stop.
We're sinking.
Stop. What is going on right now?
Sound, get out. We're gonna sink.
Holy
Jesus Christ.
Can I curse?
Yes.
Are you f***ing kidding me right now? What is this? What? Are we in any danger?
We're not in danger.
I was like, clearly you're gonna like skid out in the dirt and we're gonna get out and high five and then get on the boat. You were getting closer to the water. I'm like, did you have a stroke?
That was amazing. I would probably also freak out if that happened
Absolutely.
to me.
WWE living legend Stone Cold Steve Austin is hosting a new show called Straight Up Steve Austin. Not like any other show that you've seen. In each episode, Austin and a celebrity guest exchange life stories. They go on these unique adventures. Maybe some pranks are in there, like
really
you just saw.
Fun. And Steve joins us live now. Thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, so good to meet you, man.
Yeah, this show is so cool. How did it come about? What was the inspiration behind it?
Well, I mean, I would like to take credit for the idea that it was mine, but USA Network, I guess, based on the fact that I've hosted a bunch of other shows and I've been doing a podcast for some years, and the entertainment world that I came from, WWE, said, hey, this might be up Steve's alley. So we got all together in the room and we came up with some ideas, and it was a collaboration of many different people, and came up with Straight Up Steve Austin. And the name actually came from the fact that when I'm talking to someone, if they're really full of, come on, man, straight up. And that's how the name was born. But yeah, they pitched me the show, and so we've had a lot of fun with it. And it's kind of in that first season, you kind of grow, you learn a lot of things. There's so much going on, but we had an absolute blast filming this.
Well, I think that fans, you obviously have this huge fan base. Fans are really excited to see you in kind of a different feel, right?
Yes.
You kind of get to know you and the amazing guests you've had. You've had Trace Atkins, Dale Earnhardt Jr., WWE star, many have come through, right? So as you're doing this on the show, what's the selection process?
Well, as you get together, there's many things that are going on. So I've got my dream list, and of course the network, USA Network, who I'm so thankful for giving me this opportunity. Obviously, they have some names that they want to
Right.
do too.
Here's some
So
people we like and like to get in
scheduling,
there,
availability, all that stuff comes into play. So it's really, give and take and come up with a list, and that's what we did.
Yeah.
And I loved every episode. And each episode, depending on the personality that I'm dealing with, feels a little bit different. The activities are different in each one. So it's so much fun because either I'm taking them out of their world, or they're getting into my world, or I'm getting into their world with them. It's just, it's a lot of fun.
And you get to tailor these activities for the stars, which I love. So let's take a look at probably one of the best stunts on the show. Watch.
The Marine Corps, crush, kill, destroy. That's one of the things we do. So this will be good.
All right, Rob, we're here to crush, kill, and destroy. Let's do it. Steve, fired up.
Yes, sir.
He's ready to What would the Marines say? What's that, hoo-ah? What is it?
Well, that's Army. Hoo-ah. We go, oorah. Oorah.
What's up with that?
That's just battle cry, devil dog bark.
Devil dog bark. I'm learning all kinds of cool stuff. Devil dog bark. Let's do it. There we go.
Wow. So Rob Riggle is your guest star for this one. How great was this? I mean, talk us through this stunt.
Well, it was really cool, first of all, to hang out with someone who used to serve as a U.S. Marine for us. And then, he went back got called back into duty when 9/11 happened. And so to hang out with a guy like that, and because he came from the Marines, we were able to borrow some of the activities that they would,
Makes sense,
equipment like that, and I get a chance to live vicariously and do stuff like that. And when you wake up and, all of a sudden you're crushing cars with Rob Riggle, and he's funny as hell anyway.
Yeah.
So it was a good day at the office, and an active day in the office.
Sure was. I can't imagine something I would rather do. I mean, that would be so much fun to do. Just ride around the tank, if nothing else. Aside from that, what's the wildest sort of stunt or sort of adventure you went on for the show?
Well, I mean, that first thing you saw was Sal. I mean, because he wasn't expecting that.
When you went into the water.
Yes, and you know, that was, we'll give it up right now, but you've already seen it. But when I'm wheeling him around, and you know, based on the show that they're on, Impractical
Jokers,
you know, it's one of the
hilarious
hottest
show,
shows that there is. So to be able to pull one on Sal and rib him like that was premier.
And he seemed genuinely surprised.
He was, and you know what it turns out is I'm such a fan of theirs and his, and he's such a wrestling fan from, you know, my days. I got a chance to spend, you know, a little bit of time in the ring with him. So he was like a kid in a candy store, and so was I, because his enthusiasm is contagious.
Yeah.
And we really bonded, and the chemistry was really there. So
that's
it was
cool.
so much fun.
You can tell, yeah.
Yeah, and the cool thing about this show, though, is you do these crazy, wild stunts, but then there's also these really personal conversations you have. What was one of the more touching stories that you encountered on this?
Well, it was interesting, and you know, kind of talking into Dale Earnhardt Jr., you know, and when he kind of rode off into the sunset, and he realized that, you know, his, you know, career as a NASCAR driver, you know, one of the most beloved drivers in the history of NASCAR, was coming to an end because he couldn't be that guy that he couldn't drive in fear. I remember being in races, and I would meet Dale before the races, and if I was starting a race or whatever, and man, I'd see him driving way in the back of the pack, and I'm like, man, what's wrong with Dale? I said, you know, he's Dale Earnhardt Jr., he's supposed to be leading.
Right.
And there was a reason behind that, and so we get into that. And so there's heartfelt conversations, there's in-depth conversations, but there's a lot of you know, fun and shenanigans along the way. So it's kind of a combination of a lot of things. But yeah, we do try to get, you know, some good stuff out of some people.
Yeah, well, I love that too. It makes you even better for a show like this because you're this huge personality and this huge persona, but you also know what it means to work hard and to accomplish things and to overcome, you know, obstacles and hurdles.
Man, I believe in hard work. Absolutely, that's the way we were brought up. And, you know, this show, you know, and through my podcast from back in the day, you know, many people, you know, when I walked into a meeting in Beverly Hills or Hollywood, they thought, hey, Stone Cold Steve Austin's here. You know, I'm going to be crushing beers. I'm mad.
Slinging them around the office.
I actually have a sense of humor. You know,
Right.
I can be a pretty nice guy. So I get a chance to show a different side of myself that I love to be every single day.
Yeah.
You know, it's fun to go back to work every now and then.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is me.
I'm sure you can tell a difference when you're around someone that's a real fan or someone that's putting it on. Who was the biggest fan of wrestling that you thought would, like, genuinely loved it? You mentioned Sal there. Maybe he was.
Well, Sal was on the list, but see, I've known Gabriel Iglesias for a long time, and he's come to my house a couple times to do my podcast, and he's probably the hardest turned comedian out there, 46 weeks out of 52. Huge fan.
Yeah.
I'm in his act. Because of some of the shenanigans he pulled at my house. So he was in from the get-go, and we had a lot of fun because we both share a love of automobiles, and we both like to laugh. So it's hard to interview Fluffy because he makes you laugh so much, you know, you can't do a proper interview. So I did the best I could with him.
Yeah, that's funny.
One of the things we do love about you're talking before, the beer bash. Everyone knows it from WWE, so you brought it to this show as well.
There we go. There's
let's take a look at this clip.
You ready for a beer bash?
Never been more ready.
Let's do it.
Oh, man. I've made it. I made it. I know I've made it right now.
Cheers, Sal.
Cheers.
Wow. So whose idea was it to bring the beer bash from WWE to the show?
Well, that's actually at Gunner Brewing Company, where I brew my beer with them, Broken Skull IPA, and we just got finished, you know, hanging out all day, and so it seemed only fitting that we end up doing something. You know, I'm putting him in my world. You know, brought him all the way from the East Coast to the West Coast, and we ended up there. And here's the thing, you know, it's a half-hour show, but it takes 12 hours to film. So when I'm hanging out with these people, I really get a chance to know who and what they're all about.
Beyond surface,
and Sal used to be in the bar business because he owned a bar for 2 years, and then they got so successful, he had to sell it and get on the road and do what they do.
I love that you got the beer.
How fast do you shotgun a beer? I just did that for the first time in my life this weekend.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
how was it?
I was great. I was really good at it.
My whole method is people get mad at me and say, hey man, you're wasting too much beer. But they got to understand, I'm playing in 20,000 seat arenas when I do it. So, you know, a lot of it goes on. That's for people way back there.
Yeah,
I do love that people are concerned about the amount of beer that's fun. Like, you're not even drinking it.
The amount, the stuff that goes in, that's for me. The stuff that goes on, that's for them.
There you go.
So, and by the time you shotgun, you know, 24 some odd beers, you get a pretty good buzz by the time it's over.
Yeah, you're good to go. Hey, you've been a part of WWE wrestling 25 years or so. You've got this incredible career that's continuing. But when you look back over those years, what's your maybe proudest or favorite moment, if you could narrow it down?
Proudest moment would have been, you know, when I went to WrestleMania 13 with Bret the Hitman Hart, and I went in as a bad guy. He went in as a good guy. During the course of the match, we switched positions. I ended up as a good guy. He ended up as a bad guy. It's called a double turn. Almost impossible to pull off. The crowd was in there, hook, line, and sinker. And then going to the electricity that was myself and The Rock, who's the biggest movie star in the world right now, and WrestleMania 13 with what was at that time an Astrodome sellout record of 68,000 and change.
Incredible.
So just the electricity of that match, but those would be 2 high points. And anytime I got a chance to feud with Vince McMahon, because that feud, you know, me, anti-authority against the boss, transcended the business. And if you were not a fan, that was water cooler talk, and you became a fan.
Yeah, people got in with that for sure.
And last month, Monday Night Raw had this reunion, brought back you, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair. Who are you most excited to see? What was that event like?
Everybody, and because it was like, it truly was a family reunion. And walking down and seeing all the guys. I was going back down to have a drink with Ric Flair, and the elevator stopped, and there's Ron Simmons. And Ron is like a beast of a guy, so it's like hugging a refrigerator. You can imagine seeing these 2 grown men just hugging for 30 seconds with this giddy laugh. We're so happy to see each other. So really seeing everybody, and then like seeing some of the younger superstars, whether it's the guys or the gals, and like, hey man, think about this, or try this. And dropping some 411 and some advice and tips, and trying to pass them
Seeing them as
along.
fans even. How's Ric Flair?
Oh man, he's great. Now,
he's been through a lot.
He's been through a lot, you know, as of late. But man, he's on the mend, and you know, the guy is living life as full as he can. And so I love the guy. He's the greatest of all time. He's the greatest to ever lace up a pair of boots. And to answer your question, he's doing just fine.
Good. Good to hear. All right, back in 2007 during WrestleMania 23, you used the Stone Cold Stunner on President Trump. What do you remember about that moment?
I'll tell you something. You know, we walked into that. We were going to be in Ford Field. There's 90,000 people there. It's an indoor arena, okay? So we know that, you know, Vince's team is over here, Trump's team is over here. Going in this, you know, Trump's not going to get his head shaved. You know, it's going to be Vince. But Vince comes to me, he goes, hey, Steve, I'm going to go talk to Donald, and I'll see if he'll take the Stone Cold Stunner. I said, oh, BS. I said, you think he'll do it? Yeah, we'll see. So he's, Donald, come over here. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin. Meet Donald Trump. He goes, we're thinking, you know, maybe after it's all said and done, you know, Steve will hit you with his finished move, the Stone Cold Stunner. And as Donald's right-hand man jumps in and says, no, man, you don't need to do this. There's no reason for you to do this. They're lucky to have you here. Donald looks at Vince. He goes, do you think it'd help the show? Vince goes, oh, God dang, it'll be great. So, okay, I'll do it. So we went out there, we almost botched it. He's not the most graceful human being in the world, but we pulled it off.
Oh, really?
So I give him props to going in there, 90,000 people strong, and we did not rehearse it. He'd never done it, so had to give him big ups for being game.
Lots of things have changed from that moment till this, for sure. Yes. All right, here we go. You ready for a People Now arm wrestling challenge? I don't know if you faced a lot in the ring. I don't know if you've faced what's about to happen here.
Okay, so we're going to take you on in an arm wrestling
Let me move this out.
match. Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
Look, I actually have pretty...
Literally taking us on, yeah.
Yeah?
Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, should we move? Let me move out of the way for this. You ready? Okay, hold on a second, guys.
Are you standing up?
Here we go. We got Stone Cold Steve Austin. We got Andrea Boehlke over here. 3, 2, 1, begin.
Okay.
I can tell this is a legitimate. Andrea has a chance. It could overhead shot. It's looking like there's a face off here. She's holding her own. Can Stone Cold?
Give me the full. Give me the full.
Can she withstand? She's taking it down the double arm and
Okay, he obviously. Jeremy.
You're great. Now here's the real challenge. You ready for this?
Probably didn't breathe at all.
I've done kettlebells at least 3 times in the past month. I'm sure you can tell already. 3, 2, 1, stop! Come on! Come on! There we go! Okay.
Come on, Jeremy, you got this. All right.
I just want you to slam me. Just do it.
Just slam them.
See what you can do. I'm not going to let you. I want you to actually. All right.
Are you okay?
You okay?
Well, I'm fine. What are you talking about?
Man, it's early in the morning. I'm on West Coast time. Thank y'all for waking me up.
Hey, thank you, man. It's really good to talk to you. We really appreciate you playing along with us.
Thank you so much.
You can catch Stone Cold Steve Austin when Straight Up Steve Austin premieres on August 12th, 11 p.m. Eastern on the USA Network. Hope you got your workout in there,
My
buddy.
arm hurts. You're looking at some adorable animals currently up for adoption, and you can potentially adopt one of these cuties at this year's Clear the Shelters Day on August 17th. So Clear the Shelters is a pet adoption campaign where shelters across the United States and Puerto Rico will reduce or waive their adoption fees for that day.
The event also has the support of superstar Kelly Clarkson, who will host the Clear the Shelters TV special airing on NBC Universal-owned stations on August 23rd. Now, the Grammy winner says, quote, shelters are doing a great job at helping to match families with their new pets, but we also need to do our part part to support shelters and encourage more pet adoptions.
Now, Kelly has always had a soft spot for shelter animals. She reveals that her mother would bring home strays all the time, saying, quote, "I don't remember us actually ever buying an animal because she had such a big heart for all the pets that nobody wanted." I love that. Her first dog was a white German Shepherd named Lady. She remembers that the dog actually jumped into the family car and her mom couldn't turn her away.
One of my favorite.
So then they had Lady.
We had Lady too, and she was also a white dog.
Wait, really?
This is crazy. Me and Kelly.
Crazy.
BFFs. Kelly's own family recently adopted a German Shepherd named Josie after her stepdaughter fell in love with the dog at one of the singer's Nashville concerts where the local Humane Society had set up an event. Now, according to Kelly, Josie has a great demeanor, she's playful, and she loves to snuggle. Look at that pup.
So cute. Now, Kelly hopes this year's Clear the Shelters event on the 17th will bring similar joy to other families, saying, quote, "Taking care of a pet teaches us all responsibility and unconditional love, and they remind you how cool and simple life can be."
So are you looking to add a furry companion to your family this month? Here are some tips. First of all, make sure you have a care plan in place for your new pet. Behaviorists say animals thrive under a routine schedule.
Also, be sure to pick a pet that matches your lifestyle. So if you're really active, get an active dog or a puppy. If you're a lounger, get a couch potato or an older pet.
Next is shelter staff know the animals up for adoption. Ask them questions, consult with them. They will help you find the perfect match.
And make sure to interact with the animals before you bring them home. You may fall in love or you might realize it's not the animal for you. You only know if you spend some time with them beforehand.
Yeah, lastly, make sure your pet will be comfortable and safe in its new home. Experts suggest having a secure, quiet, comfy space helps your pet get acclimated to its new home. And make sure to take advantage of Clear the Shelters Day on August 17th, guys. Who knows, you might meet your new forever family member. You're welcome.
All right, we're taking one last look at our People poll. Today we've been asking you which 90s horror film is the scariest in honor of the Sixth Sense's 20th anniversary.
And it looks like Silence of the Lambs.
Ooh,
I'm not surprised.
yeah,
Sixth
that's
Sense,
a good one.
second, yeah, Scream.
Blair Witch Project's pretty good too. I like the Saw movies, but those are the 2000s. So
You know what's
sticking
crazy?
to the 90s.
You remember like the Blair Witch Project when it came out?
Yeah.
There was all of this marketing and like flurry over it. Was it real? Is it really discovered? Anyway, we'll be asking you a new question today, tomorrow.
Wasn't real,
People announce it.
Jeremy.
It wasn't
so
real.
now you know.
We'll be asking you a new question tomorrow. And coming up tomorrow, we're joined live by actor Greg Kinnear. He stars in the powerful new movie based on the true story of wrongfully convicted football star Brian Banks.
Plus, space journalist Sarah Crudas joins us to talk about her new Discovery series, Contact, which focuses on proving aliens exist. Thanks for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing from Kelly Rutherford. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Hi, I'm Kelly Rutherford, and this is one last thing. The last time I laughed out loud was about 5 seconds ago. How we were all gonna do it.
Yeah.
The last thing I Googled was, I'm Googling all the time, probably a restaurant. The last song stuck in my head was Nothing on You, babe. I think that's it.